Oh, where were I? Yeah, exciting news in the old Farts Brewery this week. In so much as I've done another one of my inventions. The Fartmiester has come to an end, if you like, of its progression. I can still use it, but the problem I've got with it is that I can't get enough bloody grains in to make the stronger brews or the bigger brews that I want to do. So I've invented another. I ain't invented it, you stupid old bugger. Any road up, what I'm going to be making, or have made, is a HERMS system. So I've had to spend a bit more money. Any road up, onward and upward. What do you think of this? See what comments come on this little escapade, eh? Any road up, I'll show you outside. Apparently HERMS means Eat, Exchange, Recirculating Mash System. So let me show you the HERMS system. Right, here we go. So at the moment I've got the boiler. I'll explain what these two pipes are. I've got, what else have I got? There we go. I've got my mash tun, and I've also bought another, where are we? There we are, another boiler down there for doing me actual boil. So, yeah, it's all exciting stuff. I've had to buy also one new pump, which is running away down there, and the temperature is heating up quite slowly, but I'll explain the system to you in the next shot. Right, the hot liquor tank HLT, hot liquor tank. Right, so that's my hot liquor tank. It's just a normal tea urn, and I've got three exactly the same as this. So what is that doing? Right, it's heating the water to do two things. It's going to heat the coil that I've got inside here at the top. I doubt if you'll be able to see it. I'll have to show it you some other time. But it's the coil that I use to cool the wort down. But this time I'm using it to exchange the heat from the hot liquor tank and to turn it into heat, which will heat up the mash tun. Right, so to get the levels right, it's important that the water in the hot liquor tank is recirculating, because if it isn't recirculating, you get what's called cold spots on the coil. So to make sure that the water's recirculating, what I needed to do was to put a tap just there, well, a tap on off switch, and what happens is the water from the bottom of the hot liquor tank goes through this pipe down there into my rubber tubing and into my brand new pump. It then goes back up through this pipe, which has an on-off switch, into the top and straight in, and then inside I've got a temperature gauge in one of these linkages, and basically what we're doing is moving the water from the bottom to the top, and it's recirculating very, very fast. And there's the pump pumping the hot liquor. Now similarly on the mash, I've got a pipe that's coming in, and it's recirculating what's going to be the beer once I mash in and everything. So let's take you on the journey of that then. So we'll go backwards. So the water's coming from that pipe here. Now forget this, that's something completely different. It can't go down there because that's on off. But what it does do is go up there, up there, up there, and at the back it goes on to the coil. As you can see, it goes onto the coil. It then comes out of the coil through this, down, all the way down to there. I'll show you what I use all these for later. Down there, into the pump the other way round, and then back up and around it goes, and it keeps recirculating. So the mash is recirculating in the coil and keeping the temperature constant. Now in the mash tun, I'll show you before I mash in, I've not got a false bottom. What I have got is a fruit dish from China. It was £7, stainless steel, and what I've done is cut a little gap in the bottom of the tin, and it fits quite snug. So once it gets to mash temperature, hopefully the grain will hold that down firmly and prevent any blockages. So that is my setup. Like I say, I've got the other boiler which I put onto there, or will put onto there, and then to drain the mash tun, what I'm going to do is get the pump to drain it out through there, and instead of recirculating, I'm going to close that off and open this valve, and then put a tube from there to the bottom of my boiler, which will be on there. So I'll show you that later on, but at the moment I'm just trying to reach temperature. I've got to get up to 67, so and then I'll mash it and I'll come back at it. Comes from the pump up there, round the coil, and back up and out to there. So that's that part of it. The other part of it is the water inlet with a temperature gauge in that top bit, so that the temperature stops constant, and all it does is just circulates the water around the coil, and then it comes out the bottom again. So what you're going to be making, Jim? Well, I'm going to be making a kit. It's Bavarian F. Wiesen beer. Never heard of it, but I bought it from Ireland, and it comes with all the grain mixed up and the hops, and a packet of US-05. So yeah, try that. And the temperature is moving up slowly but surely, taking a while. I ought to put that boiler on really to build it up quicker, but I'm interested to see how long it takes with just the heat transfer. Yeah, so it's coming along nicely. Don't know whether to batch sparge or not. It says batch sparging, but Never done any of that before, so I'll have a think about it. Also forgot to say, I'm powering the pumps for the time being off a 12 volt car battery. It does need a fuse in there, which I haven't got yet, so that's the next thing, to get a fuse. I just wanted to try it out. I've charged that up with the battery charger next door, and it should last for as long as I need it, and then just top it up every time I want to use it. Well, it's very nearly reached mash temperature, so what I shall do is switch the motors off and mash in and get recirculating. Well, you know how some things definitely go wrong? Well, with this wheat beer, it was like gunk, and it blocked up everything in the recirculation mode. So I've had to strip it all out, and what I've done, I've used a bag, a grain bag, whatever it's called, brewing a bag. Let me show you what I mean. There we go. So I've whacked it in a bag, and I'm just bringing it back up to temperature, and then I'm going to brew it out for an hour, but it's whizzing round nicely. You can see what I mean about the colour of it. Still going round and round, and it looks disgusting. But you know what? This is what's so brilliant about this homebrew malarkey. Things go wrong, and you try and rescue the things and get things back on track, and that's part of the enjoyment. In fact, it's the whole of the enjoyment. The amount of disasters I've had in the past with stuck this and this is fall off and goodness knows what, it just goes on and on and on. And this is a part of brewing that I really love. It's the getting things back together when things break, and this is the old invention malarkey, isn't it? Now, with this sort of thing happening now, look, I'm very tempted just to leave this net in further brews, because I think it's going to work. I mean, you're not going to go any thicker bloody mashes, well, not thicker, stickier mashes than this, and it's running through the old pump okay, we know grain, and when I'm up to temperature, which is taking a long while now because it's a bit of a drop bollock. I mean, to be honest, I don't think it's going to come out, but I'm not bothered. I've got to bollock with this brew, and if it works out, it works out, and if it don't, I'll do the next brew, and I'll get it until it is right. I'll soon be up to temp, but it'll take a while. 63. Let's see how accurate it is with the thermometer. Not bad. It's keeping pretty steady on that. And the colour's certainly changing, and it's getting a foamy head. Little bits and bobs floating about. It's nice and clear now, or clearish. I think we've got about another quarter of an hour to go. This is where I shall be putting it into the boiler, down to there. Right, it's just mashed out, so now I'm going to transfer it to the mash tun. So what I'm going to do for a start is switch that off and switch that on, and then switch that on. Transfer the port from there to there. Right, so I've lifted the bag of grain out with me crane, but unfortunately what's happened, it's squashed my tin. I think it's the heat that's done it. So like I say, it's it's all experimental, so I'll just use the pipe next time, and I'm going to continue to use this bag. In the meantime, this is now coming up to the boil, and I'll whack the hops in and see what happens. Right, I'm going to use the same bag because it's boiling up in there, and it's only had the grain in for the hops, which I've put in, and it's set for 1 hour. I've just recirculated some water to get all the bits and bobs out of there, so that I'll need a clean once the boil's over. And the boil kettle I'll take down and give a wipe out and go from there. And I'll come back when I'm transporting it into the fermenter. Right, coming to the end of my brewing day, so it's time to have a little snort in my new mug. So what shall we have? I think we'll have a bitter. You can't whack an home brew. Sorry to bore you with this brewing day, but I thought I might as well show you the whole lot as I'm going along. So it's coming to the end of its boil. I think it's about a minute left, something like that. So what's a minute? So what I'll do, I'll switch her off. And start to cool down. Look at the colour of that. Bloody horrible, isn't it? Any road up. Let's whack the bugger in.